Jai Gurudev. Jai Masters. There is a basic turning point in life, basic crossroads. That's not where you think it is, but it's the most important decision, crossroad you will ever pass. And very few people even know it's there. As a human, people like to say, I'm only human. You'll find out eventually it's not true, but there is certainly humanness. And what we mean when we say I'm only human is I'm not okay. I got issues. I got problems. I'm human. Humans have problems. Be that as it may, you have a choice. You either allow those problems, those weaknesses, those issues to guide your life. I'm lonely, I need to find somebody. I'm insecure, I need to build finances. I don't feel loved, I need people's respect. That means I'm not okay, I'm only human, and what I need to do is to find a way to feel okay about it, a way to either distract myself from it, a way to hold on to something so that it supports me in the face of my issues. I need something outside myself that will let me live with what's going on inside myself. And that is where almost every single human being lives their lives. We all have different issues, therefore we do different things outside. Even if we had the same issues, we would choose different things to do, different types of people, different types of jobs, different types of vacations, different types of whatever, in order to try and compensate for, give us support about, call it whatever you want, the fact that I'm not okay inside. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, how you do it. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. I mean, it matters ultimately. One could send you to jail and the other would be a little nicer to your neighbors. But in terms of you being human and you being okay, it doesn't matter. If you're going to start building your house upon the weakest part of your being, which is what it is. It's the part of my being that's not okay. That is the weakest part of my being. If you have decided that you are lacking and you have issues and problems and you need to get something outside in order to put on top of those problems so that you feel better about yourself, so you feel more tolerable, that you can live with things, it's all the same when it's all said and done. You have made the weakest part of your being the foundation of your life. Every single thing you say, every single thing you do, all the clothes that you wear, everything you buy, everything is about, I'm not okay. What needs to happen to make me be okay? And then how do I make that happen? That's one path. There is another path. The paradigm shift, yoga, spirituality, is when you wake up and you realize, not I'm not okay, what do I do about it? I'm not okay, why? That's a whole nother direction. If I'm not okay, what do I do about it? I'm going outside. I need support. I need help. I need to get things. If I'm not okay, why am I not okay? You're going inside. That's it. I'm telling you, that's the entire difference between what would be called a worldly path and a spiritual path. I don't like those terms because worldly sounds negative. It's not negative. It's just you are looking into the world to try to get and find things that will make you feel better inside. Spiritually, you're not doing that. You're not renouncing. It's not renunciation. You're not sitting there saying, that's what I need, but I'm not going to do it because I want to go to heaven. And or say, no, you're not renouncing anything. You're questioning the foundation of why you're acting that way. You're literally getting to the point where you are beginning to question, why am I not okay? So the question becomes coming inside and saying, not, I'm going to renounce what I think will make me be okay. I don't believe in that at all. It's not about renunciation. It's not about deciding what you think, oh my God, if I could have that, I'd be okay. Oh my God, if I could switch partners, if I could get a better job, that would make me okay. But it's not right. I committed myself to this person, so I'm going to renounce being okay. No, that's just absurd. That's suppression. That's ridiculous. It is about changing how you look at things. You come back, Buddhists talk about working at the root. The root is that you're not okay. That's the root. Everything else springs off of that. Well, why not question why you're not okay? That's what a great being does. That's what's the difference. Is you come inside and you see, yes, I'm not denying that I feel loneliness, but I'm not asking what do I need to get or who do I need to get so that maybe I'll feel better and won't feel as lonely. Why don't I just ask, why do I feel lonely? It's like getting right down to the simplicity of the simple root. All right? What's going on in here? Because it's not my natural state. Your natural state is not the weakest part of your being. That is just something that needs to be evolved and worked with. If you're sick, your starting position is not to sit there and say, oh, well, I guess that's how I am, sick. I better start adjusting my life to being sick. Don't do that. You sit there and say, why am I sick? How do I fix it? You go to a doctor. You do something, all right? You try to repair the thing that is damaged. All of these, what you call human emotions, they are not natural. It is not true. The reason they don't teach you that is they don't know it. Mainstream psychology, Maslow, taught that you can transcend the hierarchy of needs, that there is a higher state than needing this, needing that. Now he at the time said, you need to work your way through the needs by satisfying them, etc., etc. It is not true. It's not true that the only way you can get rid of a need is by satisfying it. I feel insecure, okay? So, if she or he liked me, I think it'd be nicer because he's very popular. And so if he liked me, I'm in high school, right? He liked me, then I would feel more secure. So you go and you put out the efforts to try to get this person to like you. Now what happens when they start talking to somebody else? You get jealous, you get insecure again. What happens if they're not interested in you anymore? Oh my God, you fall apart. You did not get rid of your insecurity. You put something on top of it so that you didn't have to feel it while that was going on. It distracted you from it. It supported you through that. You know darn well, everyone you've experienced it, the moment that support structure goes away, where are you? Right back down into the mess. You have not solved anything. You do not get rid of a need or a desire by satisfying it. You just distract yourself from it or put things on top of it or have hope. I hope that if I have you, it will be like that for me, okay? That's what you do. You get rid of it in a whole nother way. And most people don't know this, but someone who's gone through it does know this. You come to it and you see, I have a problem. My problem is not that I don't have a relation. My problem is not that I don't earn enough in my job. The problem is that I don't have a big enough house. My problem is not that people don't respect me. That's not my problem. Those are my attempts to put a solution over my problem. My problem is that I feel insecure. I don't feel whole. I don't feel love, etc. That's my problem. Okay? Why is that way? Now you're ready. That's what meditation does for you. Let you look inside. Why is that there? Don't believe it's your natural state. This is not your natural state. Your natural state is health. Both the natural state of your body is health, the natural state of your inner state is health. Let me define health of your body. You know what healthy your body is? You never have to think about it. When you have a healthy body, you have to go to the doctor, you don't have to do this, you don't have to worry about your body, do you? It behaves as it should so that you can live your life. Guess what your inner state, your emotions and your personal mental state is healthy. You wake up in the morning, you're filled with love. And I mean, you are so filled with love every single morning you wake up. It's literally just waving through you, the most love you've ever felt, just pouring through your being. That is the natural state of an open heart. That is what you're supposed to be feeling all the time. That is what it means to be healthy in your emotional body or your mental body. When you are healthy, you are free to live your life. You are free to be inspired by everything that comes in front of you. You're free to enjoy every single moment that unfolds in front of you. How would you like to be that high? Where every single moment of your life was an exploration, an enjoying experience, a challenge, fun, and then you go to bed at night and you lay down your head. They tell you, review how you did and what you did. Don't you dare. Just put your head down and say, wow, that that was fun, and go to bed and wake up in the morning to have another exciting adventure on the planet Earth. That's what it means to live your life. That's a beautiful life. So a yogi, I use yogi, but it really means any spiritual being, has awakened to the point where they realize, look, call a spade, I'm sick. There's something wrong inside of me. I need to fix it. Not you need to fix it for me. Nobody can fix it for you. You're the only one in there. You're the only one in there. This is your abode. If your house is a mess and you don't have any roommates, guess who did it? And guess whose responsibility it is to clean it up? That's what you start catching on. The truth is your inner bodies, yoga call them koshas, your inner bodies are easier to deal with than your outer body. Your outer body has to adhere to physiological laws. Plus there are all these outside forces that affect your outer body. Pollution and this and that and all kinds of things go on. There is nothing affecting your inner state except you. I've been doing this for 45 years, very diligently. There is nothing at any time affecting your inner state except you. What do you mean? How could I say such a thing? An event happens outside. Let's talk real. Well, what's that got to do with you? You just told me it happened outside. Happened outside. You live inside. You don't live out here, do you? You live in there, don't you? But it's disturbing. Why? The reason you're going to catch on is as follows. In here where I live, I have instruments. I have a mind. I have a heart. They're mine. I can express myself through them before I express myself through the body. But they're mine. The state of your emotions and the state of your heart is 100% yours. So how come what happened outside affects my mental and emotional state? I'm telling you, you did it. What do you mean I did it? Well, this is so important. I'm going to go slowly with you and prove it to you. In here, you have to begin by, let's be Buddhist, we'll be Zen. There's this thing called the empty mind, the empty bell. It's not so weird. I want you to imagine that there's nothing in there. I'm not saying you're stupid. Your mind is not full of impressions that you stored from the past. Okay? There's just clarity, presence of being. Consciousness is present with what's going on outside. In that state, what is going to happen is events are going to unfold in front of you. They're going to come in and you're going to experience them. There's not going to be any commotion, not going to be any melodrama. There's just, a car ran a stoplight and I ran to my brakes and skidded around and this event came in through me. It carried energy with it. I'm not saying it doesn't carry energy. It carried intense energy with it. I told you, rattlesnakes coiled up rattling feel different than butterflies landing on your arm. That's real. The Buddhists call that the nature of things. Every single thing has its nature. But I'm telling you, in the empty state, where you're clear, what you experience is the nature of what's actually happening. It then passes right through. You learn from it. It has an impact on you. There's not a single thing that ever happened to you that you didn't learn from. The very fact that it happened to you meant you had an experience. Experience in and of itself is your teacher. Every single experience that your consciousness experiences is like water pouring into your consciousness. You're now wholer than you were before because you had that experience. That's what it means to be clear. That's true mindfulness, true openness. The experience takes place, it comes in, it passes through. Here you are, present for the next experience. I didn't see any commotion. That is not what built your emotional or mental bodies. That's just clarity passing right through like it's supposed to. What caused the commotion is as follows. The event took place, it came in, and you in there didn't want to have the experience. That's all. It's called free will. You have free will. That doesn't mean that you get to determine what experience happens. Nobody said you're the king of the universe. The free will you have is in here. The event took place, it came in, and you, out of your great wisdom of free will, decided, I don't want to have that experience. Now I want you to admit to me, have you ever had that thought and a reaction, I don't want to have that experience? Or it was a very nice experience, I don't want it to end. Anybody guilty? Okay, that's how it happens. Sounds innocent, it's not. You just developed a concept inside your mind that this event is a no-no and this event's a yes. All right? Therefore, the event took place, you didn't want it to, you resisted it. You used your will, your power of will, to push it away. Not outside, you can't push it away outside, it actually happened. You actually saw a rattlesnake. Your boyfriend actually left. Somebody actually died. You got fired. These things actually happened. I don't want them to have happened. Well, you can't make them not have happened outside. Even if you go in and tell the boss, you're wrong, you shouldn't have fired me, you didn't see it. He said, oh, you're right. You got your job back. You didn't change the fact that you got fired for that moment and that experience took place. You can't ever change what actually happened. But inside, I told you, you're the only one in there. I don't want to have had that experience. I don't want it to touch me. I don't want to remember. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Didn't happen. It's called denial in psychology terms, right? So what does denial mean? It means I use my will to keep it at a distance from me. I push it away, push it out of my mind, push it out of my emotions. Where do you think that went? It actually got stored inside of you. You didn't let it pass through you. It didn't get stored outside. The event is not happening outside anymore. It's gone. All the atoms of creation did their thing, and they're gone. They're busy doing something else, but not inside of you. You kept it inside of you. So now what you've done is push this thing away, therefore it stayed in there. Well, you know this. You all have the experience. What does it mean it stayed in there? It means that the next time anything happens that's even closely associated, even abstractly associated with it, it's coming back up, isn't it? You were married to a guy named Ben, and that wasn't a good experience, and that was 20 years ago, and somebody just asked you to go out on a blind date, and his name is Ben. No, we're not going. I've had enough Ben to last a lifetime. That's what happens, isn't it? The stuff comes back up. You're not clear anymore. You're not able to experience the experience that's taking place because what comes in through your senses now doesn't make it straight to your consciousness. It has to pass through your stored mind, your conceptual mind, your ego mind, call it whatever you want, your personal mind. So it comes in and it hits all this stuff that you stored in there. And if what you stored in there wasn't a good experience, then what happens now comes in, it hits it, and the next thing you know, this reaction is happening inside of you again. So you are now not dealing with what's happening outside, you're dealing with the reaction inside based upon the stuff you stored. And the same exact thing happens when you store nice things. Oh, he said he loved me. Oh, this is so nice. Where's he going? No, he's to come back. I can't wait to see him again. I don't want to see anybody else. I only have eyes for you. Well, what about everything else? No, I only want to see her again. And so the next thing you know, you're missing life. Do you understand that? That's where disappointment, that's where all your humanness, what you call, I'm only human. No, you're not only human. You're only blocked. That's a totally different thing. You're not human. You are the indwelling being having to live with the results of the fact that you pushed all these events down in there. And now when life is taking place, it hits them. And you either feel good about something or bad about something. You feel jealous about something. All this junk, this reactiveness that's going on in what you call your emotions and your mental thoughts, your opinions, your preferences, your views, not your knowledge, not your wisdom, but your personal preferences. That's the personal mind. So you get to the point where you understand, I have made a mess in here by resisting and pushing away and storing all these past experiences because I couldn't handle them. What does it mean to be able to handle something? It goes right through. I'll give you an example. There are white lines on the road. Did you know that? Most of you handle them quite well. Yeah, how many white lines you've driven by in your life? How many of them come back up and haunt you? They go right through. They're just experiences going right through. Most of life makes it right through you. All the stars and the cars on the road and people who walk by and clothes that people wear and store. My God, there's 80 billion things you experience every day. They don't screw you up. There's this tiny little handful, really small things that if they show themselves or you hear about them or even think about them, you get weird, don't you? You get all scared, all desirous, or whatever the heck it is. It gets weird in there. How about if I call it weird? All right? There's a handful of them, and every one of you, it's a different handful, and you can trace them back to stuff you stored inside of you, and Freud agrees with me totally. It's not even weird what I'm saying, but this is the core of yoga. This is the essence of all of spirituality. Because it basically says this, okay, now you see where the stuff came from. Now you have a choice. Either, yep, that's how I am, Always been this way. Take it or leave it. All right? This is it. Now go out and try to make the life in front of you be what matches the stuff you got inside of you. Have fun. Make sure people treat you the way you want to be treated. Make sure that you go to a party that they're wearing the right thing based on what you wore. Make sure your hair comes out exactly the way you say when you told the hairdresser, well, try something new. It's like, can you handle reality? The answer is, are you kidding? Of course not. I've stored all this junk of every single thing that ever happened to me that I didn't like. I'm as sensitive. Any of you sensitive? How many years can it be in there? Has anyone ever even heard of something that when somebody's 53 years old, that what happened when they were 5 is still in there and causes them trouble? I mean, that's the base of all psychology, isn't it? What's it doing in there? Ruining your life. It's both running your life and ruining your life. So your choice, which I just backtracked to show you the foundation, your choice is you either sit there and say, this is my handicap, this is my problem, these are my issues, I can't handle this stuff. Don't tread on me. Every single thing I need to manipulate and control the world around me so that it doesn't touch my stuff. And I need to manipulate and control the world around me so it does touch the good stuff. So I remember when I was 12, I had this beautiful relationship. And oh my God, I want to find that again. It was so, you're 62 years old. What are you doing? There's different relationships at different stages in your life. You're supposed to be having new experiences and learning. You're not supposed to be clinging. Buddhists call it clinging. You're not supposed to be clinging to these old things and hoping they'll happen again. It's just every experience is a gift. That's what you get. Every single experience in your life is a gift from nature, a gift from God, a gift from the quantum field. I don't care how you want to look at it. It's manifesting out of nothing, presenting itself to you, and you are honored to see it. You're honored to experience. Nothing is better or worse than anything else. They're all different. They're all beautiful. There's no reason to try and recreate something. There's just this appreciation for the openness and the experience you're having. So this is your decision in life. Do I want the stuff I have stored inside of me, because I didn't let it go when it happened, learn from it and let it process? I didn't do that. I stored it inside of me. Now everything has to be exactly the way I need it to be for me not to get weird. Or do you want to straighten it up? Because I am telling you, you can straighten it up. I don't care how long it's been in there. I don't care how strong it is. I don't care how scared you are of it. I don't care how much of a mess it has made of your life. It is only in there right now because you are keeping it in there. It's not even that you kept it in there before. It will not stay in there. It requires your constant attention, subconsciously or consciously. It requires your constant resistance to push it back down. It does come back up, doesn't it? What do you do when it comes back up? Push it right back down. I don't want to deal with this. I'm done with this. Really. I'm done with that. I'm done with him. I like that one. I'm done with him. I don't care if I ever see him again. I hope he marries somebody worse than the worst person. I'm just completely done with him. We are a weird species. That's not what it means to be done with something. You're done with the white lines you drove by the other day. I'm done with those. They're not having any impact on my life. I am done. I handled them. They're gone. They ain't stored inside of me. I want every single thing that ever happened to you to be like that. And I want every single thing that happens to you from now on to be like that. But don't tell me that means you're going to be stupid. When you learn is when you're open. When you learn is when this thing comes all the way in and it becomes part of your being. I see it like the world is like rivers pouring into your consciousness, feeding them, merging them. And every experience you have, you become a wholer being. You don't need to think about it. When you learn a sport, tennis or something like that, and you actually learn it, you don't think before you act. If you do, you're not going to be any good. You literally become one with the experience. The person moves, you move. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're a complete instrument, better one. If you're sitting there playing an instrument, thinking about where your fingers are going, instead of merged, you and the instrument are one. You don't even know you're playing. It's supposed to be a complete lost that the music, the player of the music, and the instrument have merged into oneness. Which happens to be a yogic state. But in music, people know about that. You can merge into music, can't you? Lose yourself completely. That is when you have learned. You don't need to be there. You actually learned it. You practiced enough to where you don't need to be there mentally. You're there spiritually. And that's what's happening. You're just expressing the core of your being, and it all becomes natural. They call it being in the zone. In golf, they say in the zone, or in sports, right? You're in this zone. You are supposed to be in that zone all the time. How would you like that? Every moment, that's what it's like. You're just dancing with creation, and you're one with it, interacting with it. And so the events that you're experiencing, every time you experience something, you learn from it. Every time you play a sport, you become better. You have to think about it. Just the very fact that you did it makes you better. But what if I make a mistake? Then you get even better because you learned how to deal with what you did wrong. So if you do it right, you get better. If you did it wrong, you get better. Experience is the best teacher. You've heard that. That's very, very deep. Experience is the real teacher. So a wise being does not devote their life to this garbage that they have stored inside themselves because they can't handle the reactiveness that goes on inside. And most humans cannot. That's what it means. I'm only human. What does that mean? I can't handle things. I can't handle things. I'm very limited as to where my safety zone is, my comfort zone. You have a comfort zone? The comfort zone is defined by avoiding the junk that you stored inside of you. And now you get this little thing. You got to live in one place with one person, totally closed up. All right. Spirituality means take arms against a sea of troubles and my opposing end them. Those are Hamlet's words. All right? You come into this and you say, this is my house. This is my house. There's nobody else in here. This is mine. I'm not leaving this junk in here. There's no way in the world. I'm going to spend my life avoiding the junk that I kept inside of me. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to clean house. So you work on yourself. You work on yourself. How do you do that? You sit there and say, I don't want this inside of me. Okay? Now you'll raise your hand and say, but there's a lot in there, Mickey. You don't understand. A lot. I put a lot down there. How would I know which one to take up next? I swear to you, you listen to me. You don't need to do one single thing. Not one single thing. They will come up by themselves. They do not sit naturally in there. The only reason they're in there is because you're holding them in there. So therefore, the only thing you have to do ever in the entire path is not hold them in there. It's not about doing or getting. It's about ceasing. Always. It's about ceasing to do. So what happens? Somebody says something to you. You get all emotional. Good. No, you're not. Good. Why? It hit something. Well, I don't like it. Too bad. You want to stop smoking? Right? But sometimes I feel the urge. Too bad. Too bad. You feel the urge, eventually you won't. But for now you do. So don't pick up the cigarette. Something hits something. I feel insecure. I feel scared. I feel they might not love me. It's just, I don't know. I feel weird. It gets weird in there. Good. Can you handle it? Now what you want to say is no. But I'm not going to let you say no. Right? Because when I asked you, can you handle it? I didn't say, do you want to? I want to know whether potentially, if it really, really, really mattered to you, could you handle the fact that that disturbance is going on in you for a short period of time? I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you the most beautiful relationship you'd ever have for the rest of your life if you can handle insecurity for 15 seconds. Don't you know anything about it? Don't know anything about it. Can you do it? Which one of you can't do it? And you realize you can do it. You're just not willing to. Pay attention to that. I could teach you meditation. I don't want to. I could teach you mantra. I don't want to. I want to teach you this. Because if you learn this, you learned everything. You are pure consciousness. You can do anything you want. And what's even funnier is it's not that you have to do it. You have to stop doing it. You have to stop what you're doing. I understand that if I told you to pick up that rock that weighs 5,000 pounds, you say, I can't do it. But if I tell you stop picking up the Kleenex box, of course you can do it. Just I'm telling you to stop doing something you're already doing. It shouldn't even be a challenge. That's what's happening here. You are holding that stuff down there. I'm just saying there are times, don't worry, things going to hit your stuff. How often? Pretty much all the time. Stuff's going to come in there and you're going to get sensitive. You're going to get weird. Your mind's going to start thinking you need to defend yourself or what you're going to, blah, 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 blah. Personal stuff's going to go on emotionally and mentally, right? All right, let it go. Let it go. Don't push it back down. And I'm telling you, that's all you need to learn. Now, if you need to meditate in order to be able to do that, that's your business. You want to do mantra so that you have something to hold on to instead of hanging out with your personal self, fine. There are all kinds of techniques. Yoga works really good, calms you out. But when it's said and done, it's the highest technique you will ever use and the only one that actually works. The world is going to hit your stuff. Good. They're going to change their attitude around here. Thank you. I don't want this stuff. I don't know about you. I started when I was 22 years old, moved out here. You know why? I don't want this stuff in me. I mean, no way I'm going through my life with this stuff in here, because I already know what it's going to do. It's going to run my life. All right. So you just decide, I don't want this in here. You don't need to drop out. You don't need to go to the woods. You don't need to leave your husband. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is the next time something happens that does something and makes you get weird inside, makes your mind start thinking, what do I want? What do I not want? What do I do about it? What do I not do about it? Oh my God, what if this happens? And your emotions start getting weird. Relax. That's the highest technique you'll ever learn. You relax. That's your technique. But no buts. No and, if, or buts. Don't convince your mind that you're right. Oh, mind, you shouldn't be bothered by this. I'm sure everything's... Oh, no rationalization, no anything. Just relax. Just literally, they're demanding that you pay attention to this commotion that's going on in there. You just relax. And then you'll get good enough you'll relax, and you'll see the commotion still going on. Lean away from it. Because normally you lean into it and get involved in it, and then it sucks you in. You become it. You become the commotion. You in there, the consciousness, relax and lean away. For how long? Just relax and lean away. Don't even think about it. I don't want mind involved. It has nothing to do with mind. What you're doing is letting go of that part of your mind. Well, the only way to let go of it is to disengage. You disengage by letting go. The example I used to use is you're in a tug-of-war. Paint a scene. Little tug-of-war. You got one of those ropes, big ropes. You're on one end, and the entire Gator football team's on the other end. And there's this big mud pile in between. You want to go home. You had enough of this. You've studied every single technique of how to get your legs at a certain angle. You build a tripod of yourself. And oh, my God, it is so hard. But every time you pull and you get a little, they're strong, the whole football team. And they pull you through the mud, and you're dirty. And oh, my God, you've had so much. And all of a sudden, let go. Let go. They won't come with me. I'm trying to. Open your hands. Release your hands. Relax your hands. How can relaxing be the answer to this tug-of-war? See? Very zen, isn't it? What happens if you relax your hands? Go home. It's over. Isn't it? Who said you had to hold on to that rope? Who said you need to win that game? Who said you have to play the game? That's what I'm talking about inside. This commotion is going on. So what? What do you mean, so what? So what? It's just something you're noticing. You relax. Don't fight with it. Don't rationalize it. Don't try to stop it. Don't try to do anything about it. Just relax. Relax your hands. Relax the grip it has on you. Relax the hold that your emotions and your personal mind have on you. You are just the consciousness noticing this. It has no hold on you except that you're unwilling to let it exist. If you're watching a TV show and it's freaking you out, get up. Nobody's making you watch the show. Nobody's making you watch those emotions. Nobody's making you pay attention to those thoughts. You are the consciousness that is aware of what's going on in there. Just relax. And all of a sudden you'll realize there's all this space that didn't used to be there. Room to breathe. Because you were locked in this little box of staring at your emotions and your thoughts. And as you relax behind them, two things happen. One is because you're not pushing them away, they pass. Not all at once. It may take a few times. It doesn't matter. The point is you've changed the entire direction of your life. You are now releasing this stuff instead of pushing it back down and insisting that the world not touch it. So all of a sudden the world's your best friend, because I guarantee you the world knows how to touch your stuff, doesn't it? Now it's a good thing. I want you to get to that point. Every single day is an opportunity for liberation. Every single day, every minute, every second is hitting your stuff, but instead of hanging out with it, you let another piece go, and let another piece go, let another piece go. So one thing that happens is you unburden yourself. I'm not carrying this whole burden of worrying what everybody's doing. It doesn't matter. There's just white lines passing in front of me. If I'm willing to let go of the part of me that needed all this stuff, all right, so the first thing that's going to happen is your load gets lighter. The second thing that's going to happen, and I assure you, is because you're not hanging out with your lower self, with your personal junk that you stored in here, your consciousness centers back into its own self. Because you're not watching the TV, you find yourself back on the couch. Because you're not holding onto the rope and fighting, you find yourself completely unburdened and go home and have a nice dinner. Now that your consciousness is not tethered to the emotions and the mind, it starts to realize its own nature. You've been staring at the mind and the emotions so you know their nature, but you don't know your nature. And as you let go, this thing happens, and I guarantee you it will happen. You will start to feel this joy, this love, this amazingly uplifting energy feeding you from inside. Not in front of you where you used to get your emotions and mind, but from behind you, literally. You're sitting there letting this go, and then you start to realize, oh, there's a behind me. I never knew there was a behind me. If you're staring at the TV, you don't know there's anything else in the room, do you? What happens if you stop staring at the TV? One, you get liberated from the mess the TV was doing to you, and two, you get to see the rest of the room. I'm telling you, there's a rest of the room. And it's really big. You are sitting there staring at this tiny little set of thoughts and emotions called you, your humanness, but you're not human. You're consciousness, your spirit. And so when you stop staring at that, you start to feel the wholeness of your being. And you feel love and joy. And in the East, they have a name for God called Satchitananda. Satchitananda. It means eternal conscious bliss. Sat is eternal, Chit is conscious, and Ananda is bliss. Eternal conscious bliss. Not only is it a name for God, it's a name for the self. That's the great ones who've gotten that state came back, said it's the nature of who's in there. Eternal conscious ecstasy. So you start to feel that. You start to feel joy welling up inside of you. You are what they call self-effulgent. You are self-effulgent. You don't need someone for love. There's nothing wrong with sharing your love once you have it, but you don't get love from somebody else. Love is inside of you. And when you're not conditioning it by having things to be exactly the way you want, you're going to find out you're made of love. When they say God is love, that's what they're talking about. As you come back here, it's just oceans and waves of joy and light and love. Now come and enjoy your life. By all means, give, serve, participate, but not because you need, but because you want to express the beauty you're feeling inside of you. That's a whole other reason to get up in the morning. You can't wait to get out of bed now. Why? I got to make some money. I got to find out what my girlfriend's doing. Maybe she's talking to somebody else. No, it's not fear. It's not desire. It's, wow, why did Beethoven write music? Because it was playing inside of him and he had to express himself. That's why you live your life. Every second of your life, you've got this welling of joy and love and beauty, and it wants to express itself. So you go to work and express it. So you take care of the kids and you take care of the husband. Whatever it is, your normal life now becomes spiritual. All of it becomes beautiful. And that's just the beginning of your journey. At some point, the joy becomes so great inside that you lose interest in your personal self. Plus, once you realize the world does better without you, it does better. I mean, literally, you can still do your intellectual stuff, just not your personal stuff. And all of a sudden, you're the person, you'll get all the raises, you'll be best in business, because you're actually doing what's in front of you instead of trying to make what's in front of you match you. And you're not using it to try and protect yourself. So you grow. And then at some point, you will feel this tremendous pull. The energy is so strong inside that instead of your personal self pulling you down, it's like this vacuum pulling you up. And you keep letting go. And that's where your whole life becomes a dance with spirit. You will get to the point where the world absolutely means nothing. It's just a movie that's passing before you. You're getting nothing from it. You need nothing from it. It's just this beautiful thing that's been created somehow. And it's like going to an art museum. You get to see shapes and forms and colors. It's nothing. You don't need anything from it. You're being fed completely inside. And you bring that beauty and you share outside. But you can't lose anything because you're not getting anything from outside. That's a whole being. It's a liberated being. That's what liberation means. And eventually you become so free that you get pulled up into that energy, and that's where the great masters went. Yoga means union. You get pulled back to the source of consciousness. And those who have returned to the source, Christ, Buddha, Yogananda, the great masters, have all said the same thing, that I expanded into the entire universe. Christ said, my Father and I are one. He meant it. So basically, this is your journey out. So you have a choice. yes, there is humanness there, but it is not true that I'm only human. It is true that I watch a human. That's what's true. And it's difficult. It's a tough show. Basically, you learn to let it go. You learn to let it go. And I'm telling you, everything becomes beautiful. Everything. It all has its place. It all has its beauty. Since you have no needs, you're not afraid of getting old, or people won't like you anymore. You don't need anything. You're whole and complete within yourself. You just have fun every step of every second of your life. That's what you should be like. That's what it means to be healthy. All right? So you contemplate these things. And like I said, there's a crossroad. You decide, which life do you want to live? It's going to take some time to let go of your stuff. It will take forever to get the world around you to be exactly the way you want so it doesn't bother you. Change you and everything changes. It all becomes beautiful. And I'm telling you, when it's said and done, you look out at that world and all you ever say is thank you. Thank you to the forces that are causing this to manifest in front of me, because it's really awesome that there are trees and there are people and that there's roads and buildings. I don't even want to think about it. It's unbelievable where they come from. And you just respect that, and life becomes beautiful. All right. Follow this path. Devote your life to something greater than your little self. Jagged.